This video is called, I Have Killed Myself. And before I tell you a single thing about what's in it, I need you to understand everything that came before it. Because that video didn't happen for no reason. It happened because of the community. And I need you to see exactly what the community did before we get anywhere near that video. Because what I'm about to show you is genuinely one of the most disgusting things I have ever seen online. And I've been on the internet for a long time. Let's go back to the beginning. Because if you're just catching up, you need the full picture. Ren, also known as No Longer Null, was the composer behind Pressure's entire soundtrack up until Work the Way Part 1. 22 years old, former member of the Pressure development team, on April 8th, they released a document, nearly 300 pages and 235 screenshots. I am not going to read it out loud in detail. Out of respect for everyone involved, I'm keeping the explicit stuff on screen, but I need you to actually understand what happened, and I'd rather not read that one out loud. She didn't hide the parts that made her look bad. She put them front and center and explained every single one herself. That is not what a fake story looks like. The document spread everywhere, fast, and within hours, the entire community had made up its mind. 12 hours. That's all it took. 12 hours for the verdict to be in. Guilty. No trial. No questions. No waiting. Just burn it to the fucking ground. Developers who had absolutely nothing to do with any of this, artists, animators, builders, programmers, and voice actors, started getting harassed with slurs, death threats, even though they spent years building something beautiful, and they literally left in support for Ren. And look, even the people in my own Discord, people who aren't chronically online, people who are genuinely good and thoughtful, that didn't have much context, and some had full context, even they were shaken by how fast the entire thing moved. These are regular people trying to process something they genuinely can't comprehend. And what did Twitter do with it? They skipped the processing entirely. They went straight to the torches. And then, here's where it gets criminal. Someone uploaded the entire Pressure asset library. Every model, every texture, every single piece of work done from roughly 50 people, and over 450 plus in total, by the way. Those are just the main developers, dumped publicly online, free for anyone to steal. And the comments? Jackpot and holy gem. People in the replies acting like they just won a prize. Just so you know, if you use any of those, that's illegal. Anyways, let me tell you exactly what this is, legally. Distributing the assets of a multi-million-dollar game without authorization is copyright infringement. Under US copyright law, damages can reach up to $150,000 per work infringed, depending on how actually large it was. Pressure has hundreds of thousands of fully modeled assets and very high-quality AAA models. The person who uploading that is looking at potential legal consequences that could financially destroy them. And you want to know what they did it for? They did it to punish one person, destroying 450 others in the process. And this isn't what Ren wanted either. Ren didn't want the game to be brought into this at all, but yet, here we are. This is just straight up theft and destruction, and people are calling it a win should be embarrassed. Gianni, Sebastian's voice actor, quit publicly in support of Ren. Ellie, one of the programmers, posted what turned out to be her first and last update. Cubism said they regret ever working alongside Zeal. Artists revoked their designs, composers walked away, people who gave years of their life to this project were leaving, doing the right thing, and the community attacked them anyways, because at that point, it wasn't about supporting Ren anymore. It was about the rush, the performance, the clout, the feeling of being on the right side of something without doing any actual work of understanding it, and doing the exact opposite of helping. Nobody waited. Nobody asked for more. Nobody stopped for even a second. They just burned it down. Then Zeal posted a video. The video is an hour and 33 minutes long. It was uploaded to YouTube and instantly taken down, and uploaded again for archival purposes, which I will not be linking, as all of them have been requested to be taken down. And I need you to understand what you're looking at before I tell you what he said. This is not a professional response, and there's no lawyer behind this. This is quite literally a person alone on their desktop, as Zeal usually does, with a notepad, falling apart as he knows what comes next.
Once the recording of this video is complete, I will be scheduling it as a upload, and I will then be going upstairs, taking a kitchen knife and slashing my wrists. I have a lot I want to talk about first.
He starts by saying he had been writing a counter document, going through inconsistencies, putting together his side, and then one by one, while he was still writing, his friends started leaving. His teammates started leaving. People had worked alongside for years, sending him messages telling him he was disgusting and that he should kill himself. A friend of 8 years, gone in a single message, without any explanation. He talks about being in love with Ren, about how he had never been in a relationship before in his life, about how everything at RDC happened so fast and that he genuinely didn't know how to handle any of it, about how embarrassed he was, about how inexperienced he was, about how he never understood any of it and how it came across. He gives his full account of what happened. He says Ren asked to kiss him. He says he misread the signals of what they wanted. He says, can't wait for the Google Docs in 5 years. The line that sounded very cruel in text, but we don't really know what it was meant to be. You can't get the entire vibe of a sentence in one singular text. You need to actually be there to experience it, or at least have a description. He wasn't saying that joke, now proven by it, at all as a joke. It was him realizing, holy shit, I fucked up, and if you've ever done that, you try to crack a joke in a time of pure desperation. It was not him trying to predict anything. He inconveniently did it in the worst possible moment, because he didn't know what else to do. You can hear it in his voice when he explains it. There's no arrogance there. It's literally just a guy who is talking about what he said, and there's no reason for him to lie, because he knows what happens next.
I want to keep going, because I know what's gonna happen when I stop recording. I know what I need to do, and I don't know if I'm strong enough to do it. I don't want to fuck up and somehow manage to live.
He addresses the wet hair, which Ren said a lot in the document, and he says America is warm and he literally just showered. That's it. A small detail. But Ren framed it as a deliberate, literal preparing for what he was going to do. He says it wasn't, in which he has a very good point. Goddamn, America is hot. He addresses the one-side blocking, Ren pointing out that he had never blocked her back after she blocked him, framing it as him keeping the door open so she'd crawl back to him. He even says he was still in love with her and couldn't bring himself to do it. He literally could not make himself block someone he had feelings for. He wasn't doing it to quite literally crawl back, he was just trying to be polite and just as accepting to their decision as possible. If you have ever been in that situation, you know exactly what that is. It's not manipulation, it's literally just a heartbreak. They are very, very different things, and this is why context matters. And then he spends the rest of the video apologizing. Not to the internet, not to the community, to every single person who ever worked on him. And Pressure, by name.
I want to say sorry to Boss, who was the first person I hired for the game. I'm sorry that you wasted all these years for nothing. And that it all comes crashing down in a wet fucking fart. And I'm so sorry. And I don't know what to say. I don't know. We didn't know each other very well, but you were such a good like programmer. You were so talented. I'm so sorry that you wasted your talent on this. I want to say sorry to Alti for making him waste time animating Sebastian as well as many other characters. And I want to say sorry to Rad for the same thing. I'm sorry for making you animate so much, even though it didn't matter in the end. I want to say sorry to Will and Hal and Sophie for not appreciating your writing, and Kat too, for not appreciating your writing as much as I should have.
To the voice actors, Gianni, Fitzy, Artie, he apologized to all of them for dragging them into something and ruining what their characters had meant to people. To the artists, to the builders, to the programmers who just joined and hadn't been there long, he tells them he's sorry. He won't be able to pay them. That money was coming and now he won't be there when it arrives. He says he knows they need it, and he's sorry. To his mom, who was sitting in the next room, who he had to lie to just to keep recording, who had mentioned multiple times throughout the video. Towards the end of the video, he started speaking in a different language. I can't quite tell what it is. However, must I know it, a bunch of people mocked it. I don't know if they're racist or downright weird, but for some reason, hearing someone cry, talking to their mother about how they're about to kill themselves in another language, is funny, apparently. And then, near the end, he says this.
I know what I need to do, and I don't know if I'm strong enough to do it. I don't want to fuck up and somehow manage to live. I want to do this right. I don't want to wake up tomorrow. I don't want to see your reaction to this. That would destroy me because you're so confusing, Ren. I don't know. I want to thank all of my fans and my employees and my friends and my voice actors for helping me get this far.
He really hoped he wouldn't fuck it up. And then it ended. We were left in limbo. No update, no message, nothing. Just an hour and 30 minutes of a man saying goodbye to every single person he had ever worked with. And the silence. And it just kept going. People kept harassing, the comments were vulgar, and nobody even knew if he was alive. But I'm afraid I have good and bad news. He fucked it up. He's alive. He was hospitalized. He's receiving care, and his mother confirmed it publicly. And while he was in the hospital, and before we continue, there's one thing I want to point out, and you'll see this a lot. It's the community going against their own words. As stated by Zeal's mother, she wanted all of it taken down. Zeal was very clearly not in the right state of mind, and if you have re-uploaded it, you have taken advantage of a person at their lowest. Exactly what you accuse Zeal of. I have unfortunate news, but as of right now, there is still many numerous copies with hundreds of thousands of views all over YouTube. You have violated all of your own words, and you disgust me. While this was happening in real life, this is what the internet was doing. It's okay, guys. He's with Tung Tung now. Pressure's music playing in the background as a joke on a hospital bed. Bro couldn't handle the pressure. When you low-key want to hate and all the comments are hating too. Laughing emojis. A laughing track inserted into clips of a man saying goodbye to his mother, very much knowing what came next, quite literally not even able to say it with his own words and needing to write it on a notepad.
I had to lie and say that
to tell the video what he was about to do. We got Zeal going down before GTA 6, like it's any form of joke. I hope he's with one of the tree people from the Badlands, referencing a pressure entity because that's funny, apparently. And then this one. I'm not gonna read it exactly as it was written. Zeal uploaded an hour-long video just to record himself sobbing into a microphone and making no moves to even defend himself. He defended himself for an hour and 30 minutes, alone, on camera, while his friends were abandoning him in real time and random people were telling him to die. That's not making no moves, that is literally him giving up on his entire life. A real person, in a real hospital, after a real suicide attempt, and you made it a meme. Another person says a man standing alone, even against everyone, will still try to defend themselves. Not only is that not true, but what does Zeal have left, as stated by him, to defend for? That's why the document never came to be. He had already lost everything. I genuinely do not have words for how disgusting that is, and I'm not gonna pretend I do. Now, I have to be extremely careful here, because this is a section where I could say the wrong thing, and I refuse to do that. I'm not saying that Ren's document is fabricated or fake. I'm not saying nothing happened. What I'm saying is that two people can experience the same events in completely different ways. We are human. Communication is unclear. Ren had bipolar disorder, and no one was processing anything in a healthy communication way. They had no idea what they were saying at some parts. Let me go with some specific things the community ran with, and what the fuller picture actually looks like. The update dropped. Ren implied Zeal pushed out the pressure update right as everything was collapsing, to grab one last bag of money before it all came down. I personally looked into this, because it sounds like a whole lot of bullshit. The upload schedule was set in advance, and had since been confirmed by other members of the development team. The timing was a coincidence. A very horrible coincidence. It was not a cash grab. He wouldn't even know the document was coming. You had him blocked. Then there's the wet hair. This was presented as evidence of preparing for what he did. He showed up freshly showered, therefore apparently planning on what he was going to do. And what actually happened is he showered because it's hot in America and he was sweaty. That's it. One singular explanation versus a very, very wrong interpretation. And they instantly chose the wrong side. Lovely. Now for Kat. This one matters a lot, and I want to explain it properly. A lot of people believe that Kat was told by Zeal the entire story, and was holding it behind bars and not telling anyone else for money to protect the, as the document says, the cash cow. The document implied that Kat knew about the assault and chose to protect the game, the cash cow framing. They also said that Kat knew that she was covering up something wrong. But here's one thing. Having watched the Zeal's full response and using basic common sense of the situation, what Kat almost certainly knew, and only knew, is what Zeal himself believed at the time, which is not, I assaulted someone. It was, something embarrassing and complicated happened between me and Ren. She's telling people about it even though I asked her not to. I feel like my privacy was violated, and I'm mortified. That is almost certainly exactly what he told Kat, because that is what he genuinely believed, and Kat, by keeping that in confidence, was being a good colleague and a decent friend, not covering up a crime they knew about, just keeping a private embarrassing situation private, the way a good friend would, and treating them as the same thing as how an innocent person gets their account mass reported into deletion, which is what happened, or at least we're led to believe, other than her fleeing the situation, which is very reasonable, must I say. And if you don't believe this still, just so you know, quite literally, Zerum and Kat both reposted the document, because from their perspective, they were like, holy shit, push this out. I didn't know this was happening. Oh my god. They were actually in support. And you guys thought they were doing it to cover it up. You really think anyone would think that would work? Oh yeah, I covered up the whole situation in the crime scene. I'm just gonna report, I'm just gonna show the document and call it a day. My record is cleared. And now Zero. Zerum is a very separate situation. The evidence around Zerum manipulating artists for free work, homophobia, and other behavior outside of pressure, that stands on its own, and I'm not defending it. But Kat and Zerum are not the same person in the community. They both most likely knew the same thing. So, forgive Kat, not Zerum though. The thing nobody is saying. I need to say something that I genuinely have not seen anyone else say out loud. Every person who posted a meme, every person who typed "rot in hell," every person who put a laughing track on a clip of that video, every person that commented he deserved it, or he's a tongue now, posting hospital bed jokes, and also, can't forget, the infinite amounts of fuck yous. You were participating in his suicide attempt. Not metaphorically, like you didn't just, oh, I witnessed it, weh. No, you literally were. The man was watching the responses while he was still in the room. He saw his friends leave. He watched the jokes pile up. He watched the thousands of people who had never exchanged a single word with him, decide in under 12 hours on a one-sided situation with no evidence coming back from him that he deserved to die. He said so in the video. He said he hoped he wouldn't fuck it up because he didn't want to wake up and have to see everyone's reactions. He literally watched you. He took your advice. Everything you said compiled to this. And he tried to kill himself. You didn't do anything, necessarily physically, but you handed someone a reason to do what they did. And a lot of you did it without even watching his response. You saw a 2-minute clip or a summary. Someone sent you a screenshot of the crying parts. You saw the embarrassing moments stripped of all context and you just pulled on. You didn't read the room. You didn't read the document. You performed an absolute outrage, closed the app, went to sleep, and a man almost didn't wake up with you. And the absolute worst part, half of you are probably going to see this video, watch the clips, maybe feel something, then go back to this God-ridden site and do it again next time, because it was never about rent. It was about justice. It was about the dopamine hit of, for some reason, thinking you're on the right side of the community and having an excuse to do horrid actions. And now, someone's in the hospital. I loved this game. I've said it before, and I mean it every time. I built a fan game inspired by it. I covered it obsessively. I made video after video. It was genuinely something I cared about, something I was proud to be a part of as a creator. And it's gone now. Not because of what Ren said. Not because of what Zeal did. It's gone because of you. The community of people deciding that burning it down felt better than waiting the measly 24 hours it took for a response. 50 people's work. 450 in total. Years of their lives. Gone. Because you all decided that once you get one side, you will always be on the right one. We still do not have the full picture. Legal proceedings are coming, and more information will come out. And when it does, I want you to remember how fast you moved. I want you to remember the jokes, whether you were one to make them or not. I want you to remember that you were so certain, so quickly, about something that you understood so little of. To Ren, whatever the full truth turns out to be, you came forward, and that's impressive. I genuinely hope you get the support and peace and the justice you deserve. I'm not taking anyone's side. And to Zeal, I hope you recover. I hope you get help, and whatever the full truth is, I hope you genuinely reckon with it. Not for everyone else, but yourself. To the developers, and the artists, and the animators and the composers, the programmers, the voice actors, who had nothing to do with any of this and got harassed anyways, I'm sorry. You didn't deserve any of it. Not even close. This just is what happens. And a note to the people that still say, what do I do now? With my pressure plussy. Whatever you really want to do with them. They're their own characters. You can disassociate. I saw someone burn one. Grow up. And they did all this from an assumption, by the way. So, in the end, to everyone that contributed to the actions of Zeal, I give you a heartfelt fuck you. Because you always said that Zeal should burn in the deepest pits of hell. And, you know, that can be said very well right back at you. You influenced and helped in someone's suicide attempt. And I hope you feel great about yourself. Because you did it anyways. I don't care. You can't say, oh, well, I just saw the rest of the community talking about it. I guess I can too. No, that's not how this works. You take responsibility. Oh, so what? At the time, there wasn't a video counterclaiming. Shut! That only makes your situation almost worse, really. Because not only if there was even a comeback, what you said was insanely fucked up. You still did this with zero accountability and zero reason. Because there wasn't even a response. And, you know, there was gonna be a response. Except no one waited. And instead the response we got was a man killing himself. Thankfully surviving. So, a warm, heartfelt fuck you. And, you know, as of editing this, I just saw Creekcraft, you know, say that he should burn in the deep pits of hell. So, Creekcraft, this one goes out to you. Wow, you're one of them. The issue is, he said such before the statement, and only had one side. So, to anyone here today who actually was mature and waited for the other side, I thank you, and I hope you sleep well tonight, knowing that you are quite literally of more profound value, straight from my heart and of everything, than a very questionable YouTuber's statement, which is popular for all the wrong reasons. To put that in simpler terms, you're smarter than Creekcraft now. I don't know why you guys found this so hard. I don't refer to anyone. I don't refer to everyone. I refer to the people I mentioned. I hold that tight. You disgust me. Matter of fact, no. You disgust me! We literally could have had everything we ever wanted. And everything everyone wanted. And you went out of your way to take everything we all had left in the process. And you expect us to sit idly by and keep smiling like nothing ever happened on both ends. And I'm smiling alright, because now you get to live with that decision for the rest of your life. And the best part, you'll get reminded over and over again. You'll come back. You'll know, and it will be waiting. You have no one to blame but yourself. You're in a hell of your own making, and you're never getting out!